So welcome everyone to part 2 with Rony Germon, and we're going to look today at the a demo of the famous MetaKwark campus, the virtual campus in the metaverse that we talked about in part 1. So now is our chance to actually get a look inside. So thanks for coming back to join us again, Rony, and really excited to see this in person. I've been reading a lot about it. So where are we now? What are we looking at here?
So welcome. So yes, we are actually in the door of our metaverse for education. I will press start, but yes, actually we are on the demo part, so it's in French, but that will be also available in English. So this is me or my digital me, and I decide to wear that, but you can custom your avatar, and it's quite nice because to custom your avatar, you start from a photo. So you just need to take a photo of you, and we have an algorithm. The algorithm pre-design your avatar. Right. So yeah, it's time to join the metaverse. It's important to consider you don't need plugin. In fact, you just need a Chrome, and that's it. So this is the main hall of metaverse, and well, yes, it's really funny because yeah, we just have different kind of space. If you just want to talk with few people in the chat room, you can come in, take a seat, and yeah, you can discuss with someone. It's interesting to know only the people inside the bubble can just listen you. If you are out the bubble, you can't listen.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I read that in a press release recently, well, a couple of days ago, I read that in this virtual campus, you can just bump into people like accidentally, the same way you do in real life. So you can be walking down the corridor and see your professor and say, hey, can we chat for 5 minutes? And so my question was going to be privacy. You know, how do you do this? So if you go in here, only the people in there can hear the conversation.
So yes, you have different words for privacy. The first one, yes, you have bubble like that, and you just take a seat and discuss, and only the people in the bubble can listen. But you can there you can also create your own room. For example, yes, the private space, and you can decide to just create a private meeting with 4, 8, 12, 20%, etc. And only the people inside the meeting can listen to you. So you have the two way. The more spontaneous one, and say, okay, we can go there and discuss, or the more organized one and say, okay, we just meet in the lobby, we can create a private space and go there.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So you just go out. After that, yes, I don't know. Yes. For example, it's a good example. Azad was one of our colleagues. And for example, I can just ask to add Azad to my contacts. So I can just click there, or I can directly start a conversation with him. So I will ask him to add me to the contacts, and I will start a conversation just like that.
Right. Okay. So Azad's in the school or the university administration, campus administration.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You got a question about enrollments or schedules or something like that, you can actually find them and go and chat.
Yes. And I can decide to just write the chat, but I can also call him just like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, Rony. Not exactly. We can continue like that.
Yeah. So what, I mean, some of these, I assume you could actually have like imagine this was a kind of campus visit for people who hadn't enrolled yet. Have you trialed this with any of the avatars being AI chatbots, or are they always real people?
Yes. You can have both. For example, just there. This is the information desk. And you can, for example, behind this information desk, decide to have a chatbot
Right.
and say, okay, hello, who are you? What are you looking for? Etc. Etc. With basic question. And if it can answer, it will call someone, for example.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that opens up a lot of possibilities. I see McDonald's in the background there. How did that happen?
Yes, because we all just put some brand sometime, and yes, we just change them just to say you can just custom everything in a room, for example. I can take this room, for example. So in this room, you have 50 seats. You can come in. So yes, the white circle there, it's the area you can listen people. For example, if two people are in this area, you can listen them. If the other one is outside the area, you can't listen the person.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this would be, I see. So these can be like group workspaces.
Yes, it's
on the left and right.
A room for group group work, and it's a good example. So you can just sit there, see the people around you.
Yeah.
You can. I'm not an animator, so I can go on the stage. But yes, and there you can share your screen, see all the screen, but you can also see the people on the stage and the screen, depending on what you want to do.
Wow. Okay, so you could stand there and give a virtual presentation. You could present an idea, discuss together feedback and questions, and the people at the other spaces in the back are not able to hear you because you're inside that delineation. Yeah.
In fact, it's funny because you can have in this room, 5 different kind of activities, and without no noise. In fact, it's really nice to just consider that.
Wow. But if I turn around, I can see that stuff is happening, and I can say, hey, that looks interesting. I'm going to check that out. It's more interesting than what I'm doing here. Or
exactly.
Okay.
So there I'm on the stage and I can see the people on the stage. I can share my screen. I can just also manage the screen and ask to talk, for example, because yes, it's just avoid to have noise everywhere, because noise is usually a very big issue with software like Zoom or Teams, because you don't know who are going to talk, and sometimes it's very noisy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can go back there. So you have space for group work. So the seat in the different color, it's usually for the mentor, the professor, etc. And you have the member of the team around, just like that. So you can see your team members, the professor, but you can also decide to see only the screen if there is something interesting on the screen, etc.
Right.
So we can go back to the hall. So this room is usually a team for a workshop. You have also, you have what we call business room. So it's a room with 16 seats. Yes.
And so you can add different permission levels as well. I mean, I saw that it was authenticating there. So you could have different levels of permissions. So for example, there's a teacher's room, the students can't just walk in.
Exactly. You can block the access to a different kind of room depending on who you are in the metaverse. It's just like a real campus, in fact. And
well, look at this, a rooftop meeting room. Yeah, that would never work in Scotland, Rony. You couldn't do that in this country.
Yes, definitely. So this one is a basic meeting room, and you can custom, in fact, the view. You can take a seat, and you can have people and just chat with everybody, just exactly the same principle. Only see the screen or just see the screen and the people. And that's interesting because when the meeting is over, for example, you are out of the table, but you can continue to discuss with people, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah. And I should ask here because you know, we're watching this on a sort of two-dimensional, sort of one-dimensional screen there, or 2D flat screen. But you say that I read that you don't need virtual reality headset for this, so you can use this just with and you said no plugins, so you can use this just from a URL.
Yes.
But you could also use it with VR, and you're going to see that in 3D. Yeah.
Yes, you can also use it in VR. It's really interesting. You can do both, in fact.
Okay.
But
okay.
Depend on people, because it's not very comfortable to stay, for example, 2 hours with a VR headset on your head. So it's not comfortable. There, it's more comfortable, and you still have this sensation of virtual presence.
It's very true, isn't it? They haven't really nailed the kind of the comfort aspect of VR. I think it's a big barrier. I mean, I have a VR headset, and you know, I've sometimes say watched a movie or something in that, and it's quite uncomfortable by the end. So it might be good for short meetings, but maybe not for classes yet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a good example there. For example, you have the stage, but we put some bots. It's not talking bot, it's just people. And that can give you an example of, yes, the room is empty or not. This is the people around you, and you are not alone, in fact, in the amphitheater. And yeah, it's very, you still have the same way to just, you can see people on the stage or only the screen, depend.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can look around.
So, I mean, it's interesting watching this, because I also read that this consumes much less bandwidth than, let's say, what we're using just now on Zoom. Your MetaKwark consumes significantly less bandwidth, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly, because you have only the virtual people inside. With Zoom or Teams, you have video, and that can use a lot of energy, and it's not very energy efficient like that. There, you only have virtual people in the virtual world, so that consume less energy. It's a good example there. It's a kind of area. There is nothing organized right now there, so you can't go in fact. If I try, you say, okay, there is no event, you can go in. So you can also block the access to people. And if you also want to have a just small chat with people and just chill and just discuss, you can come on this area, and it's a private one. Only the people inside the area can just hear you.
Wow, you know, I'm really interested. I don't know if you're able to do this, but I'd love to try this with my VR headset on sometime soon to see what that feels like.
Yes, yes, we can just organize that for you to just see what's happened with that. I can try to manage that.
And what are these on the right there around the pillar? Are they adverts of some kind, or I see images there?
Yes. In fact, you can put different kind of, we put a lot of different kind of images, and just, yes, you can turn around and see what's happened.
So you could put the campus events, you could put schedules, you could put, like, it could be a notice board, it could be adverts. Yes. The student union could put things up there. And
yes, definitely. And that can be also, I can go in. In fact, inside there, you can just put on the screen whatever you want. That can be a video, that can be a website, that can be just an image, that can be what you want. I take an example, another room there, you know. there it's a website of this company, for example. Right. So you can directly go and just watch the website.
So, I mean, I guess organizations and things that are involved in this, they have to rethink how to present their information, in this new environment.
Yes.
It's not the same as, just a pure web-based thing. They have to, I guess, focus the attention in different ways, get to the point quicker, think of navigability in a new environment.
Yes, definitely. And especially, yes, for teaching, to just think about how you organize everything, every space when you teach, but also for company, because we will invite company on our metaverse. It's a good example of what you can put on the screen. You can put a video, for example, we have this video.
Yeah.
You just can put website, images, etc., etc. So you can custom everything and every information on it. But moreover, because it's part of our idea of the metaverse, we will launch a permanent art gallery inside our campus. So actually, in the new room we are working on an art gallery, and just think about how you will show the digital piece of art inside this art gallery, and how we will expose them to the people inside the campus.
And these will be NFT works of art.
Not only NFT, video, images, etc., etc.
Right.
So a digital art, piece of art, everything we can just put on different type of digital piece of art. We will just put on this art gallery. That will be a permanent exposition room, but also a room for debates and discuss about the digital art and the place of digital art in art and culture.
So, Rony, I got a quick question. I mean, can you open part of this to the general public? Say you have an event or an open day, or say that you're a college that has art students and you want to exhibit their artwork and sell it to the general public to raise money for the students or for the university. I mean, can you manage all of this in the metaverse? Can you open it to the public? Can you conduct transactions with the public?
So what you see, actually, as I said, it's our demo, and on this demo we only put the room and the different kind of room we are create, and we are customing this room exactly with different color. We are testing, but you have another configuration you can add. It's for exhibition, and we can have a small stand, and you can just exhibit your company, your art, etc. And you can open that to everybody. The campus, the hall, as you said earlier, we can manage the access, because we have different kind of people we just consider when we are working on the user experience. And we consider people outside the campus and how they can come inside the campus.
Right. Okay.
So you can also decide to go outside and just enjoy the view, for example.
What about, is there a way to interact with other spaces in the metaverse to connect them? So, for example, around a real campus, you have businesses, you have cafes and shops and things like that. Is there a way to do that here?
Yes. For example, right now it's the map of our metaverse. So, for example, it's another way to go directly to other space inside our campus.
Okay.
But for example, we do not add in this area all the type of room we just imagine.
Yes, imagine, yeah.
Think about, and we also add. We will have a library, exhibition room, Also, how do you call that, for the students, dedicated to students, a room dedicated to students and student association, and also a room for a teacher, only for teacher.
Right.
Yes, you have this different kind of space we do not show in this configuration, but you have more space than that.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, this is the demo version. No, and the full version is available from September this year, I think, where
Yes,
you could actually begin to study there. So
exactly,
universities can buy a license to this space and create their own virtual campus.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we will our focus is just end the first version and just start all our new campus with our partner in September.
Right. Okay. Wow, that'll be quite an experience, won't it? I mean, I guess you've road tested it with focus groups, no, with students so far. I mean, what's been their feedback on the learning experience and the social experience?
So in fact, we start with ONG, a foundation dedicated to engineering study experimentation, and also with our partner, we are in a logic of test and learn. We'll test everything. So we just
Right.
start as the test right now with the student, with the teacher, with the administration, etc., etc. And yes, the feedback is quite good right now, because yes, it's quite close to what they can see in their video game. We have this very
Yeah.
high quality in terms of image, and also it's very smooth. In fact, as you can see, you don't need to add a plugin. You just need to have your screen. It's not mandatory to have an immersive headset, so it's quite smooth to use it. So they like this part.
Yeah. It's nice and open, and you've got a sense of light and the plants and things. I mean, so you're trying the sort of biophilic environment, no? You can see the sky. You're not in some dark room. I mean, there's a sense of space around you, which is nice.
Yes, it's very nice. You can just meet people and say, okay, just need to go there. Yes, I know him, I can chat with him, and etc., etc. And I think this part is really funny, because you can develop serendipity just like in any campus. It's impossible to develop that when you just do Zoom, Team, etc.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you mean, like, for example, you can accidentally bump into somebody that you haven't seen for
Yes,
a while, and yeah.
exactly.
And I see the emoticons here, the emojis. So this is what I was going to ask him about the social interaction, because the press release in Tech News had said that it was going to change. Certainly, we can see the way it changes learning remotely. That's quite clear. But changing the way we socially interact, I was quite curious about that. So how are you using the emojis here?
So we
Ah,
decided
so
to
just
just,
above your head.
yes, just above my head. So I say, okay, wow, I'm happy. And for
Yeah.
example, to express other sentiments, you can say hi. You just can clap your hand.
Oh, wow.
You can just say thank you
Uh-huh.
and say, okay, I love it. This part is more about, yes, the social interaction outside the classroom. And you can just express your feeling like that.
Wow. Yeah, this is a new world, huh?
Exactly. But yeah, what I really want to focus about that, because sometimes just people say, okay, it's just like Second Life. I say, no, it's not Second Life, because it's not another life. It's just part of our life. And it's just to think about, it's not to play, it's a place to learn, but it's also a place to live. And we just consider that. First of all, it's to learn. So that's why it's the different case of pedagogy. We just think about it when we just conceive all the different rooms. And after that, you can also socialize in our environment and just discuss with people. But it's not the main focus. It's not a place for entertainment. It's a place to learn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So although it's kind of gamified and you've got certain features that are similar or recognizable to gamers, it's not a game. It's a learning environment.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. It seems more relaxing. I think the sense of space, I'm trying to figure out why, but the sense of control is important, isn't it? I mean, you're in a, you know, an online meeting. There is absolutely no control. You can raise your hand, you know, even trying to interrupt or take turns is quite difficult.
Yes,
but here you've got that sense of control, which is more relaxing. You know, you can wander off, you can go and do something. And the sense of space around you as well. And there's something about the distance between yourself and the situation that's more relaxing as well. You know, you're not just, you know, you on the camera in a meeting, you're an avatar in there, which does feel like it reduces stress somehow.
Totally agree with you. It's really funny because to see you and to see this image of you in a virtual world, and also to see people, that's just it's a real, what we talk in the previous chat, it's very, this sense of virtual presence is very important there. And this is, it's more efficient to a cognitive part when you just interact with people, to have this sensation and just be behind your screen with a flat environment with no 3D, etc. It's way better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, I think that a lot is going to emerge from this, you know, when people see beyond what, you know, what are the implications, you know, neurologically, socially, and of course, economically as well. I mean, you know, it's going to change the way we interact economically as well, surely. Do you use cryptocurrency in this space?
So yes, as I said, we are working. We already have all this space, etc. And the next feature will be to just integrate cryptocurrency and just currency inside this world. Just buy the stuff you can find in the virtual world, but also buy stuff from the virtual world in the real world. It's our, for example, I don't know, for example, you decide to just buy a mug. You can buy it for your avatar, but you can also buy in and deliver it for you in the real world. It's a good example, and we are just thinking about how we can do that and how we will do that, but not can, but we will do that because it's our next feature.
Yeah, that's interesting to see something, to chance upon something in the virtual world and have it delivered in the physical world is going to be a really interesting development. And it's making me think already with, you know, to what, like things like rules, you know, that's going to be an interesting thing where universities or whatever set policies for use. And I'm thinking about, you know, for example, I want to dress my avatar, but I want to dress as a cat and come to the lecture. And you might have to have a policy saying, hey, there's a limit. You can't come as a cat, you know?
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see the types of policies that come from this.
Yes, it's a good way. Right now, it's quite limited because we decide to just have some limitation about how you can dress your avatar. But yeah, even of what the student asks, maybe we can just say, okay, you can choose whatever you want to dress, and this not whatever you have to be dressed. In fact, that depend of how you want to be dressed.
Yeah, and you have to be dressed. Yeah.
Yes, you have to be dressed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be that's going to be another interesting development, is to see how institutions manage the guidance around this, the policies, the things like harassment, bullying, arguments, conflictive situations. They're all going to have a different dimension in the metaverse, and I'm really curious to see how that's going to be managed.
So for this kind of things, you have this. Yes, for example, if you have any issue with any user, you can just the policeman there and just click there and looking and just say, okay, we have an issue with them.
Yeah.
And if you have, I'm an administrator, so usually I will receive all things there, and I can moderate the content there. But for a student, a normal student, he can just say, okay, I have been harassed inside by this user, and I can check what the user just said and just say, okay, yes, it's true, it's not true. And I can say, okay, you have to go out.
So you can check, I mean, so what happens, for example, if a user wants to have a private discussion with another student, is that discussion accessible by an administrator later?
No, it's private.
Or it's totally private. So if they say, I was verbally harassed in this private space, there's no way to check.
Yes.
Like the real world. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's Except which is, I guess, how it's got to be. Yeah.
If the students just make a short screen, etc., I can say, okay, it's true or not true, etc. But yeah, in the public space, in the room, in the meeting room, in the business room, I can check it because it's public space inside the metaverse. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is fascinating, Rony. I would love to, and if it's possible at some point, I'd love to sort of use this with the VR and write a little bit more about it, how it feels. And I'm thinking about all of these other questions that arise from this, from the experience, and very interested in the neuroscience around it, the psychology around it, the behavioral aspects, the learning experience, the pedagogy. There's so many things that come from this that would definitely love to explore as well. And I'm sure our audience would be really, really interested in that as well, because they'll be watching this and they'll have so many questions as well. So this is a whole new universe.
Yes, definitely. We have so many questions about the ethical part of that, and what you can do, what you can allow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so many more and more we are working on this environment, especially in the education area. We still have so many questions.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for showing this to us, Rony. It's been like super, super, super interesting. And I'm sure that we'll get some questions from the audience as well, and maybe we can check in and send you anything interesting that comes in as well. But if institutions are, I mean, so are you accepting applications now for institutions to use this from September 2022 if they want to put their learning into this? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We still have some support for some institutions to just start to use it. So yes, they can contact me if they need to have any information about that.
Right. Okay. And what would you say is the kind of, I mean, if I'm an institution, so imagine I've got this kind of online learning environment that it's probably going to be this reactive thing to the pandemic. We know it's kind of hastily assembled, but we've got the content, we've got a bit of experience doing it, but we now want to transfer it to the metaverse. I mean, what kind of setup time are you thinking about for sort of training and getting something basic up? What are you talking, are you recommending, look, this takes a year, this takes 3 months, this takes 6 months to set up, or?
In fact, the technical part of the setup is not that difficult. It's quite easy. I put brackets. It's quite easy. Not
Right.
that easy, but it's quite easy to just imagine what kind of room you want, etc., etc. The other part, I think it's more about the pedagogical part and also the training of the teacher, because it's also one of our main focus is about how you can train a teacher to just teach inside the metaverse. And we develop a training about that, about how you can teach in that, based on what we are doing actually. But in fact, what is funny, it's more we are working on this path, more we are just add content in this training, because we are learning constantly about how use it efficiently.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, the training, I guess, would be a fusion of technological and pedagogical.
Yes, definitely.
Right, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a very interesting space, and it's, I think that, I mean, I work as a teacher trainer, and I work often with, working with a group of colleges now, actually, about the pedagogy of online learning. And I find that people are often surprised to find out that it's even really a field, because they think pedagogy is one thing,
yes,
and you just replicate it in the online environment, and that's it. And and that's a disaster.
Yes, really,
but then the
really
metaverse is, yeah, it never works. And then, well, that's why there's such low success rates with a lot of online learning, because people are not really rethinking what they're doing, and they lose engagement with learners unless they really know what to do, because it should be an opportunity. I mean, I'm looking at this, the metaverse, and I can immediately see, as a teacher and as a teacher trainer and as a lifelong learner, I can see myself in various roles in this metaverse, and I can imagine how well it can be used, but the training is such an essential part of it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. In fact, I just think about it, I think, before COVID, when I talk about, yes, to do some online training, so most of people just said, okay, you just need to switch on Teams and Zoom, and that's it. It's online training. I said, oh my God, no. That can't be there. No, it's not online training. It's worse, in fact, that deserve online training. This is not online training. Online training, you have to just make a scenario, just think about all interaction, just try to anticipate question, try to anticipate technical issue. You just to think about all of that. And when you do that, you just apply that to your content and just how you can transform your content for online training. But yes, you just consider you are doing online training because you just switch on Zoom or Team. It's false. And don't talk about that.
Yeah, and I've seen it, and I'm sure you've seen it as well, and it doesn't work. And I mean, these are learners that they're used to interacting with the digital world in a far more interactive way.
Yeah.
So being passive passengers in some row of faces on Zoom and just being talked at is not, it's almost an abusive technology.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely. Yeah. Because this is why I also am very enthusiastic with Metaverse, because I feel inside the Metaverse less passive, and the feeling to be with people, not to be alone behind my screen, the feeling of the space, the feeling of myself in this environment, I think it's very engaging.
Yeah. Well, that is what I'm really looking forward to exploring. And I'll certainly be writing more about it for the NEO audience, and make sure to share that with you as well, because I'd really like to take that journey. I mean, many years ago, I studied in Second Life. It was a short course. I did a short postgraduate in journalism, and I did the course in Second Life, and that was my first experience of, I guess, the precursor to the idea of the metaverse. And I still remember that being a very different experience to, for example, I did my master's online, and it was very, very, very dry, incredibly dry.
Yeah.
Discussions on Blackboard, you know, using Moodle. It was just uploading content. We downloaded it, submitted stuff. I mean, you know, really, really difficult to stay motivated, actually. You know, we had to try to motivate each other, but the space did not support it. So I've seen, you know, different kinds of examples, but I still believe in online learning. I believe in digital learning 100%, but it's just making the most of it, you know, adapting the approach psychologically, behaviorally, pedagogically, you know, embracing the technology. And I understand teachers, you know, they constantly get new initiatives and here's this new app and there's a fatigue around it, but we have to choose where to focus. And this is the future, 100%. So, yeah.
Definitely agree with you.
Yeah. Well, Rony, thank you for your time once again.
Thank you so much.